Welcome to part 3 of Let's Play Rebel Planet by Robin Waterfield. At the end of the last part, I was on paragraph 239. Let's reread this as a reminder. Okay, you knock on the door of Professor Zacharias' office. Come in, he calls. When you enter, you find him just getting ready to leave for a lecture. I'm in a hurry, he says. What do you want? You tell him that Mahita suggested you visit him. He looks at you intently for a moment. Did she indeed? He muses. I have great faith in Mahita's feelings about people. Look, there's no time now. Come and see me after my lecture in 1 hour. Will you pass the time by attending his lecture? Turn to 170. Or have a cup of coffee in the Students' Union? Turn to 182. Okay, we are going to attend his lecture and turn to 170. The lecture theatre is fairly packed. Professor Zacharias seems to be popular, but you cannot see why. His subject is history, and he drones on about Arcadian human relations in the 24th century. You find yourself drifting off to sleep. You wake up with a start when your shoulder is jogged by a janitor who is cleaning the room, which is otherwise deserted. You race back to Professor Zacharias' room, only to find a message on the door. Called away on urgent business. Back tomorrow, 11 a.m. You turn away, cursing your doziness. Lose 1 luck point, but restore 2 stamina points for the rest. Leave the university by turning to 235. Okay, so we've lost a luck point. So that puts us down to 11. Whoops. But we gain 2 stamina points, which I don't need. So that's that. Anyway, we're now turning to 235. You decide to go back to your hotel. If you had a spot of bother with the chief of police at the Zodiac earlier today, you have decided to go to Porky's Palace instead. On the monorail ride, you have the impression that you are being followed. There is a cab behind you, but then there always is on an efficient monorail system. Will you pull into the next drop station and get off, turn to 162, or will you carry on to your hotel thinking you will be as safe there that you'll be as safe there as anywhere? Turn to 27. Oh yes, I forgot to note down, sorry, that in information that Professor Zacharias will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Professor Zach, oh yeah, spelled there, isn't it? Zacharias will be back tomorrow at 11 a.m. Okay, whoops, need a thing for that, don't I? A comma. Right, okay. Anyway, what are we going to do? Are we going to pull into the next drop station and get off, or carry on back to the hotel? We are going to pull into the next drop station and get off, and therefore turn to 162. Off we go. Okay. You get off and jump onto the escalator to street level. Looking up behind you, you can see 2 Arcadians still coming after you and talking into their comlinks. Once on the street, you duck down the first side street to which you come. Test your luck. If you're lucky, turn to 183. If you are unlucky, turn to 373. Okay, so let's test our luck. Our luck is currently 11, because we lost a luck point because of the lecture sleeping thing. So we need this to be 11 or lower. And it was. Good. Okay. But we lose a luck point because we've tested our luck. So that puts it down to 10. But now we are turning to 183 because we were lucky. You lose yourself in the shadows, hardly daring to breathe, and your pursuers pass by on the main moving pavement. You follow the twists and turns of the side streets, always keeping the overhead monorail in sight to guide you in the right direction for your hotel. Turn to 285. You are getting quite close to your hotel when you see ahead something large moving towards you. You wait until you can see it clearly. Oh no! The glinting body of a robot killer is trundling towards you on hidden wheels. It is just like a metal cylinder with only one feature breaking the pitiless uh, It is just like a metal cylinder with only one feature breaking the pitiless monotony. Yeah, the hyphen threw me off there. The pitiless monotony of its structure. An aerial on top. It has no humanoid features, no arms, no legs, no face, nothing that looks familiar or that you can understand. Uh, you haven't the faintest idea of how it will attack, or therefore how you should defend yourself against it. You know that your blows will have some effect on the soft metal of this planet, but it looks as though it has been built to withstand many such attacks. You need some way to shorten the fight. The robot's first attack comes without warning. A gigantic thump strikes the ground, sending you tumbling and making roof tiles and small bits of masonry hurtle down from the buildings all around you. You have no idea how the robot causes the thump, but if you have been told about the Street Fighter, you know that it has been aptly named. If you have a baryon grenade, or a baryon grenade, whatever, turn to 388. If not, turn to 190. Okay, we do not have a baryon grenade, or baryon grenade, whatever, so turn to 388. No, sorry, turn to 190. Oh, there it is. You run through the twisting streets and lanes, but wherever you run, the robot follows, adjusting its speed to yours exactly and staying out of range of the destructive thumps which it sends out at irregular intervals. You realize that you'll only exhaust yourself to no purpose if you continue to run. You must stand and fight. Street Fighter, Skill 9, Stamina 16. Its attacks will increase in effectiveness as the buildings around get weaker. Its first successful attack round will cause you 2 stamina points of injury, the next 3, the next 4, and so on, as larger and larger pieces of masonry strike you. You can use luck in the usual way to reduce the injuries by 1 point each time. If you carry on the fight as normal and win, turn to 309. But does the robot have a weakness? Roll 2 dice. If the number rolled is greater than your skill, turn to 227. If the number rolled is less than or equal to your skill, turn to 282. Okay, so we have to do the fight first and then win. Actually, I don't know. Don't know what to do. Okay, I think we need to test our skill first. Yeah, I think we need to test our skill first. It's a bit sort of confusing this. Anyway, before we do this, let's have a look at the pictures. That's what's after us. Horrible metal cylinder and wheels with an aerial. Street Fighter. Let's put that in our in the thingamabob, in the encounter box, whatever. So Street Fighter. Terrible film that is. Skill 9, Stamina 16. Okay, good. So we're going to test our skill. Our skill is currently 11. So number rolled is greater than your skill 227. Okay, so we need to test our skill. Roll 2 dice. Okay, that's 11. So our skill was 11, wasn't it? Let's just confirm that. Yeah. Okay. Less than or equal to your skill 10 to 282, which it was just. So 282. Here we come. Of course, the aerial. It must be a means of detecting structural weaknesses in buildings. That is why the robot only thumps irregularly, when it senses that a building is weak enough to crack. However, there is no point in simply stopping by a firm building, because you would have to stay there and would be easy prey for the police when they arrive. You must return to 190 and fight the machine because of the light gravity on this planet. Every time you have a successful attack round against the machine, you may either deduct 2 stamina points as a result of a normal blow, or you may leap into the air and swipe at the aerial, causing loss of 1 skill point for the machine. Okay, so return to 190. So Now that we've done that, we can either, every time we get a successful attack in, we can either reduce the stamina by 2 or reduce its skill by 1. So that's good. Anyway, let's attack this thing. Off we go. So its skill is 9, mine is 11. Let's do this. So 9 plus 10 is 19, and 11 plus 4 is 15. So I get hurt. Let me just write that down. So 19 and I got 15. Whoops, that's 16. Okay, so that hurts me by 2 points. So that puts me down to 20. So next time it hurts me, it will put me down to by 3. Yeah, because it's sort of the effectiveness of the bits of masonry falling down or whatever increases. Anyway, so let's carry on. So 9 plus 5 is 14. I get 19. So 14 to 19. Now, let me just write this down. So I have to decide whether I'm going to reduce its skill or its stamina. So 14 to 19. I'm going to reduce its skill. So there we go. So that puts its skill down to 8. Good. So now it's 8 plus 6 is 14. I get 19. So 14 to 19 again. And again, I'm going to put its skill down to 7 to make this easier. Okay, so now now the skill is 7. So 7 plus 7 is 14, and I get 18. So 14 to 18. Now I'm going to reduce the stamina by 2, so 14. 7 plus 5 is 12. I get 15. So 12 to 15. That puts the stamina down to 12. 7 plus 2 is 9. I get 17. So 9 to 17. Puts it down to 10. 7 plus 8 is 15. I get 21. So 15 to 21. Puts it down to 8. 7 plus 5 is 12. I get 18. So 12 to 18. Puts it down to 6. Okay, 7 plus 9 is 16. I get 17. So 16 to 17. That was close. Puts it down to 4. 7 plus 8 is 15. I get 20, so 15 to 20. Puts it down to 2, and then in theory the last one. 7 plus 12, oh here we go, 19. I get 19, so equal. So no one gets hurt. Okay, 7 plus 7 is 14. I get 17, so 14 to 17. And that is the end of Street Fighter. Good. Okay. Alright, with that done, if you carry on the fight as normal and win, turn to 309. So we need to turn to 309 now. Okay. Yeah, so 309. Sorry about that. I was just reading something. 309. Okay. You reach the haven of your hotel. If it is Porky's Palace and you have not been here before, pay 50 credits for the night. If you need to find a computer, turn to 158. Otherwise, turn to 134. Okay. Okay. Yeah. We're already at Porky's Palace, so all we need to do is just decide whether we need to go and find a computer or otherwise. We do not need to find a computer, so we're going to turn to 134. Gain 4 stamina points for a fine dinner and a good night's rest. If you have an appointment to keep in the morning, turn to 376, otherwise turn to 317. Okay, so we've got 4 stamina points back. So that puts us back up to 22. We do have an appointment to meet in the, an appointment to keep in the morning because we need to visit the professor at 11 a.m. or something. So we need to turn to 376. Promptly at 11 o'clock, you knock on Professor Zacharias' door, but there is no reply. You wait for several minutes, but he doesn't turn up. A passing student tells you why. He has been arrested as the leader of the underground on Radix. The arrest took place about half an hour ago. He knew you were coming. Maybe he had time to leave you a clue in case you were the agent from Earth that he was expecting. You go into the room to see. It is very untidy. There are manuscripts and history books everywhere. Academics still use books, since it is easier to find particular passages for reference on a page than on a screen. I don't think they predicted the future there. You concentrate on the desk. Look at the picture opposite to see whether you can find a clue to the digits you need to know. Ooh, this is interesting, isn't it? Okay, is there a clue here? Okay, so what we have is clue. We have 2100 to 2200. So 2100 to 2200. Yeah, so that's a clue, isn't it? So that's the best we can do, really. Yeah, so they're the digits we need to know. 2100 to 2200. Let's just write that down. Okay, so if you think about it, the difference between 2200 and 2100 is 100. So the next 3 digits are 100. So that's that. Yeah, so the next 3 digits we need are 100. So that's helpful. Anyway, so that's that. Okay. You are suddenly interrupted by the entry of several North Arcadian guards. You two are arrested on the spot for being in a known dissident's room. All your equipment, including your sword, is stripped from you, but they do not find your slim money belt. 10 to 43. Okay, so we've lost our sword and all the other equipment that we had. So we've lost that. Whoops. Don't know about the anti-grav pack. What does it say again? Not find a slim money belt. I'll assume that we've lost that then because yeah, because it did say all your equipment. That is part of my equipment, isn't it? And we've also lost the laser sword, unfortunately. They did not find your slim money belt. 10 to 43. Okay. Okay. Your trial is a farce. The Arcadians are sure something fishy is going on. What would a merchant from Earth be doing in a professor's room on Radix, and why would he have a sword? You are sentenced to death, but the police tell you that the sentence will be commuted if you tell them what you know about the underground on Radix. Will you spill the beans? 10 to 345, or not? 10 to 368. We're going to spill the beans and turn to 345. After racking your conscience, that didn't really happen, but after racking your conscience, you decide that your mission is more important than any single cell of the underground, and that you can tell them and that you can tell them enough to keep them happy without giving everything away. Uh, you do so. The following day, having checked your information, the commandant returns. "All right, Earthling," he says, "your sentence is commuted from certain death to probable death." He laughs mockingly and takes you under guard to a room which has two doors leading from it. One of these doors leads to instant death, the other leads to a gladiatorial ring. Such fights are one of our amusements. We often send criminals through one or the other of the doors. The guards are watching you closely, and you realize that they will kill you if you show the slightest resistance. If you partake of our contest and defeat the two beasts we will send against you, we will escort you back to your spaceship. After the information you have given us, it would be better for you not to fall into the hands of your fellow humans, don't you think? Now, make your choice. Which door? Would you go through the right-hand door, turn to 293, or the left-hand one, turn to 397? Okay, so let's see if we have any information about this. No, it looks like we're on our own on this one. All we have of information is where Zacharias is and the digits and stuff. Yeah, so we're purely on our own here. So we're going to take the left-hand door. So 397. Off we go. You open the door, shivering with anticipation. Or is it trepidation? It leads to a dark, gloomy corridor. The guard allows you one last despairing glance back into the well-lit room before shoving you through the entrance and slamming the door. Darkness descends, but it is not total. Somewhere far ahead there is a source of light. You clutch at straws. Surely this is a hopeful sign. Surely they wouldn't bother with light if this were the passage of doom. Then a little voice inside you interrupts your wishful thinking. Oh yes, they would. They need to see to clear the bodies away. Time passes. So far so good. You're still alive, but then you've only moved a few centimeters from the door. Perhaps you should just stay here, where at least you haven't been killed yet. Is that what you choose to do? Turn to 4. Or will you continue down the corridor? Turn to 71. We're going to continue down the corridor and turn to 71. You move on down the corridor. The gloom becomes less and less, and you search the place thoroughly as you walk. But there are no escape routes. Eventually, you reach a sturdy door with a large grille. Will you try to barge the door down, turn to 360, or wait to see what may happen, turn to 301? We're going to wait to see what may happen, and turn to 301. You wait for hours. As dusk descends, a grinning alien face appears at the high grille. So, he says, you have chosen to try your skill at our gladiatorial games. This is the door into the arena. Now you must spend the night here. In the morning, the games will be assembled. Gain 1 luck point for choosing the right door, and turn to 349. Okay, let's get a luck point back. Back up to 11. Okay. Okay, that's not for us. Okay, so 349, here we come. Excuse me. In the morning, you wake up only slightly refreshed from a sleep troubled with nightmares. You are woken by a guard who gives you a bowl of slops. We don't want you too weak for the games, he says. You may restore 3 stamina points for the rest and food. Don't think I need that, no. When the guard returns, will you attack him, turn to 206, or let him lead you away, turn to 231? We're going to let him lead us away, so turn to 231. The guard pauses by the door to the arena. The two beasts you have to face, he tells you, are first a Laphadorm and then a Scarb-Rock. Both are bred specially for the games. The Laphadorm is a new breed, and I know nothing about it. But the Scarb-Rock, though powerful, has one weakness. It is easily distracted. It won't fall for this trick twice, but you can distract it once and get in a free attack. Before you can thank him and ask his reasons for telling you this, he opens the door and urges you through, having given you a sword for the contest. Gain 1 luck point for the guard's information. Okay, it's another luck point. If you survive to fight the Scarb-Rock, turn to 262. Remember this number. When you are instructed to do so, now turn to 313. Okay, so we need to... The Scarb-Rock is 262, so I'll just write that in information on the new line. Turn to 262 to fight the Scarb-Rock. Okay, so now turn to 313. Oh yeah, we have a sword, don't we, of course. So we have a sword. But it's not a laser sword, it's just a sword. Okay, yep, let's do this. 313. You have no choice. You enter the arena. The door swings shut behind you. You are overwhelmed by the dazzling sunlight, the roar of the crowd, and the strange smell of the pale blue Radicean sand on the ground. You assess your predicament. High barriers surround the arena. The ground is covered with sand. This is it, then. You will have no help apart from yourself. A sudden hush fills the arena. A door on the other side opens, and out comes the most hideous beast you have ever seen or imagined. A Laphadorm, bred for grotesqueness as well as fighting ability. It is covered in red scales. It has a retractable neck like a tortoise. Its head is like a lion's roughly, but the tongues which dart from its slavering jaws remind you more of a multitude of snakes. Resolve your battle. Laphadorm, skill 7, stamina 12. If you win, turn to 106. Okay, so Laphadorm, 7 and 12. Right. So Laphadorm. Skill 7, stamina 12. Okay, so let's fight this. My skill is 11. Let's do this. So 7 plus 8 is 15. I get 18. So 15 to 18. Whoops. And then that takes it down to 10. Okay, so 7 plus 5 is 12. I get 18. So 12 to 18. Puts it down to 8. 7 plus 8 is 15. I get 17. So 15 to 17. Puts it down to 6. 7 plus 12 is 19. I get 18. So 19 to 18, it hurts me. Whoops. So I've lost 2 stamina points. Um, 7 plus 4 is 11. I get 17. So 11 to 17. Seven plus 9 is 16. I get 18. So 16 to 18. Puts it down to 2. And finally, 7 plus 6 is 13. I get 14, so 13 to 14, I just win that one. So 13 to 14, that's the end of Mr. Laffadorm. Good, right, not too bad. Well, it wasn't bad at all, he only lost once. If you win, turn to 106. Off we go. The crowd goes wild with delighted approval, but you scarcely have time to draw breath before the gateway gapes again, and the Scarb-Rock appears. It goes on 6 legs, each of which is tipped with long claws. Its tough hide is covered with short, spiky hair. If you know the Scarb-Rock's weakness, turn to the relevant reference. Otherwise, just fight it. Okay, so Scarb-Rock, skill 8, stamina 14. If you win, turn to 54. Okay, we do know the relevant reference. We can turn to 262. So let's turn to 262 now because we know its weakness. Good, you have remembered the Scarb-Rock's weakness. At some point during the fight, you will be able to distract its attention, perhaps by throwing sand across its field of vision. Test your luck. If you are lucky, turn to 341. If you are unlucky, turn to 133. Okay. Okay, just a moment. Okay. Anyway, let's test our luck. Our luck is currently 12, so let's just put in Scarb-Rock first. Let's test our luck. So we need this to be less than or equal to 11, or rather 12. So this is guaranteed. So 9, which is definitely less than or equal to 12. So let's put in, or rather, yeah, let's lose a luck point. Put us down to 11 luck points. There we go. And then let's turn to 341. When you distract the Scarb-Rock, you manage to hit a particularly vulnerable spot and injure the monster in such a way that you reduce its skill by 1 point and its stamina by 2 points. In other words, you can fight it as follows. Skill 7, stamina 12. Yeah, so we're now fighting a skill 7, stamina 12 Scarb-Rock. Okay. So skill 7, stamina 12. Okay, let's resolve this battle. So my skill is 11, its is 7. Let's do this. So 7 plus 9 is 16. I get 22. So 16 to 22. It's a good start. Whoops. So that's 10. Oh yeah, I haven't put his stamina down. Oh, yes, I have. Been confused there all of a sudden. 7 plus 8 is 15. I get 19. So 15 to 19. Puts it down to 8. Okay, 7 plus 8 is 15. I get 14. So 15 to 14. It hurts me. Oops. I have to lose 2 stamina points. Puts me down to 18. Okay. Next. 7 plus 7 is 14. I get 17. So 14 to 17. Oh, can't see the keyboard properly. 14 to 17. Puts it down to 6. Okay. 7 plus 7 is 14. I get 19. So 14 to 19. Four. Puts it down to 4. 7 plus 7 is 14. I get 22. So 14 to 22. Puts it down to 2. 7 plus 11 is 18. I get 23. So 18 to 23. That kills the Scarb-Rock, so that's the end of him. Good, okay, that's that. Any buzzing, let's remove it. Right, okay. If you win, turn to 54. We did, so let's go. The crowd is on its feet, the applause is thunderous. Antennae flash in approval. As the corpse of the Scarb-Rock is dragged away, leaving a slimy trail of green blood behind it, an alien, whom you recognize as the prison commandant, enters the arena and congratulates you, once he has taken away your sword. You have performed well and given pleasure to our people, Earthling, he says, and we will keep our side of the bargain. You may return to your ship. Turn to 191. Okay, so we've lost the sword. Actually, I'll say taken away. Okay, good. Or rather bad. You may return to your ship, turn to 191. Oh, and that's the picture. That's what we did. Okay, I think. Okay, 191. Okay. En route for Hal Muras, you may restore your stamina by half as much again as your current stamina score, rounding odd numbers down, and remembering that you cannot exceed your initial score. Okay, let's do that. So half our current stamina is 9, so I can round up, so I can, not round, but I can add another 9 points, which puts us back up to 22. Okay, good. Okay, you review the problems you face. You have no equipment or weapon, though you still have your money, and there is a spare anti-grav pack on board your ship. Okay, good. So I have another anti-grav pack. So, yes, yes, yes. All right, so I have another one of these. Just make a new line. There we go. Hal Muras is a bleak planet. The terrain is wild and mountainous, and some of the mountains are active volcanoes. It is a planet which is still going through the last violent stages of creation. It is very hot in the daytime and fatally freezing at night, when the hot bluish sun sinks below the horizon and the 3 moons become visible. The moons cause vast tides on the planet. If you have to spend a night out on Hal Muras, you would be well advised to choose somewhere warm and far away from the water. The inhabitants live in small settlements, which were originally scientific research establishments, and are clustered quite close together, with the spaceport on the high plateau region in the south of the planet. This is to avoid the huge tides which ravage the lower lying areas, which are punctuated by sudden inhospitable crags. The computer feeds you all these data and also informs you that the alien inhabitants are mostly Central Arcadians who naturally took over the scientific facilities of the planet. All you know about the underground leader is that he or she is an assistant at the agricultural research settlement. When you land on Hal Muras, you find that your limbs feel heavy. The higher gravity of this planet means that for the duration of your stay here, you must lose 1 skill point. So I'll just put in 10 while on Hal Muras. Move that erroneous capital there. Good. This makes finding a weapon even more vital. There are none of the customs and immigration hassles that you expected. Instead, you are simply ordered to remain in the spaceport area until your ship is unloaded and your passenger is ready to embark late the next day. Okay, it is now mid-afternoon with 4 hours to go until sunset. Will you first investigate the possibility of getting hold of a sword, turn to 273, or of learning the whereabouts of the agricultural station, turn to 173. Okay, we will decide what to do in the next video. So thanks for watching. We're currently on 191. Yep, 191. So let's write that down. So 191. And then in the next video we will decide whether we're going to try and get a sword or learn about where the agricultural station is. So thanks again and goodbye.